Welcome to my channel of How Can Leaders Make Better Decisions. In this video, we'll talk about psychological effects related to the statement of we should not set the rule if the rule is not enforceable. Do we need to set the rule of wearing masks in schools if the rule is not enforceable? To answer this question, we first talk about the dichotomy heuristic in decision making. We'll then talk about how to shape the social norm of mask wearing without enforcing it. First, let me briefly provide some context. As schools open their doors for the fall semester, there has been a lot of debate about whether to make mask wearing mandatory. Some schools chose to make mask wearing optional for students with the justification that wearing a mask is a personal choice and there is no practical way to enforce a mandate to wear them. This is exactly the explanation given by the superintendent of a school district after a picture of a high school hallway packed with students gained national spotlight. So the question is, do we need to set the rule of wearing masks in schools if the rule is not enforceable? To answer this question, we first look at the goal of deciding whether to mandate mask wearing. It is clear that the goal is to have the maximum number of people wearing masks, and this goal serves the ultimate goal of keeping the coronavirus under control so that we can all go back to our social life. If this is the end, then we actually have a lot of means to achieve it. Many decision makers tend to be trapped in the dichotomy heuristic. Heuristic is our mental shortcut which enables us to make a decision efficiently. Dichotomy heuristic means we only consider two options, either yes or no, either making mask wearing optional or making it mandatory. We frame questions in binary terms. We are particularly vulnerable to the dichotomy heuristic when we are tired, stressed, hungry, and under time pressure. All these factors reduce the blood flow to our brains, which survive on the oxygen and glucose brought by the blood to power our cognitive capacity. When we are mentally and physically exhausted, our brains don't have sufficient supply to function well. To save limited supply, our brains take mental shortcuts, which are heuristics, to make decisions efficiently. But there is a trade-off between efficiency and accuracy in decision-making. We cannot have both at the same time because our brains consume a lot of energy which has limited supply. Each heartbeat can only bring a certain amount of energy to our brains. So if decision makers take a mental shortcut, in this case dichotomy heuristic, they trade exploration for more options, which is very time consuming, for the efficiency of decision making, which focuses on only two options. Mandating mask wearing is only one of many options. There are other options out there. I'll provide some examples in this video, but my brain capacity is limited. You can be creative to come up with more options to achieve the goal of maximizing the number of people wearing masks. So back to the question, do we need to set the rule of wearing masks in schools if the rule is not enforceable? The framing of this question in itself traps decision makers in the dichotomy heuristic because it implies the answer is either yes or no. What about we try another framing of the question? For example, how to encourage more people to wear masks. According to the framing effect, to motivate people to behave in a certain way, it's better to frame the expected behavior as a gain than a loss. What are your suggestions of how to frame this question? Please leave your comments below. Now let's talk about how to shape a social norm without enforcing it. A social norm is the expected behavior, and this expectation is agreed upon by a group of people. Let's assume the social norm here is to wear masks in public settings, which is recommended by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. To shape a social norm, we have two approaches: reward and punishment. Reward is like carrot, punishment is like stick. We can punish people who break the rules and deviate from the social norms. To avoid punishment, those rule breakers are forced to stop deviating from the norms. This is called enforcement, to compel compliance with norms by force. In comparison with punishment, reward is generally more effective in shaping social norms. There are many forms of reward. Financial reward is only one of them. Giving people power to make decisions, which is empowerment, can also be very motivating. Recall how motivated you were right after you were promoted. Moreover, your reputation is also a type of reward in social settings. After all, we all care about our reputation. Back to the reward of wearing masks. The other day, I saw a coffee shop in my neighborhood put up a sign saying 25 cents off with your mask. That 25 cents are the financial reward of wearing a mask. Most stores put up a sign saying wearing a mask is required, which implies that if you don't wear a mask, you cannot come into the store. But this coffee shop took a different approach by providing a reward. Now looking at these two signs, which one is more motivating for you to wear a mask? You probably don't want to lose that 25 cents, even though it's not that much money. But who likes to lose? There is a psychological effect called loss aversion. We feel losses more acutely than gains of the same amount. What other rewards do you think are appropriate for school settings? Please leave your comments below. In addition to using punishment and reward to shape social norms, we can provide gentle nudges. For example, people are more open-minded when they meet in an open space than a closed space. What about offering your suggestions in an open space to make people more receptive to whatever you suggest? Lastly, building strong ties with group members motivates them to punish those who deviate from the social norm. And the punishment of rule breakers actually serves as a reward for group members to uphold the social norm. So this goes back to the relationship building in organizations, which is the foundation of leadership. In this video, we talk about the psychological effects related to the question, do we need to set the rule of wearing masks in schools if the rule is not enforceable? First, the dichotomy framing of the question traps decision makers in a narrow choice set because there are only two options, either yes or no. It's better to reframe the question to achieve the goal of maximizing the number of people wearing masks and then achieve the ultimate goal of keeping the spread of virus under control. Second, reward is more effective than punishment to shape a social norm. Third, we can use gentle nudges to encourage people to follow the social norm. What are other psychological effects in the decision related to the mask wearing? Please share your ideas in the comment section below. In the future, I'll create more videos about decision making, particularly leaders' decision making from psychological and neuroscience perspectives. I'll see you next time.